Hello everyone. I wanted to do a review of pools that I've mined on, and I'm gonna start with Bitmentor because that's the first pool I started mining on back in October 2015 when I got started, and I'm mining as part of my business. So basically, it's just a mining business. The benefits of that is less taxes when you actually claim income from mining. Now, you see here, it's very simple. You have the Stratum URL right here. If you're mining back then with GPUs or USBs, or that's how you want to start, they have a client. It's very user friendly and excellent for those that are really new to mining. Once you learn more about mining and as you do more research, you would want a better server or pool to mine at. This pool is fairly small. It's 3 petahertz, so it's 3000 terahashes. And I was usually around between number 12, 10, and 15 mining on that pool. The speed goes up and down depending on your miners getting work. And the pay system is PPNLS. So basically, you're paid per the last 10 shares, and each shift is 2 hours, and you have 10 shifts. So whatever you make shares you hand in within those 10 shifts, you're paid if the pool finds a block. If not, the last let's say this is the shift number one, this is shift two, this is the latest one. If you don't find a block within the last one, you enter the 11th shift. This shift is dropped, you don't get paid for that, which sucks. It's basically you're working for nothing until you find a block, but then if you find several blocks on the same day, you're getting paid for the same shifts several times, which tends to make up. But again, you make up what you've lost. But I didn't like that. The other thing about this pool is that you get the transaction fees shared among all the miners. So that was a nice thing. That's a very important thing because once all the bitcoins are mined, miners benefit from transaction fees at that point. That's how we'll make money. So this is why you have KNC Miner and other big mining companies expanding, because that's where miners will be making monies from transaction fees. The statistics are very limited here on Bitmentor, and usually I made about 0.19 bitcoins per block. So according to transaction history, this is the latest or biggest amount. I'm trying to zoom here that I made. And on this server, the nice thing about it is that the perks. So if you want to get paid for your block before any waiting, instead of waiting for the confirmations, they have a perk here that you donate 1.2% of your reward and you get paid immediately, so you don't have to wait for all the confirmations. And then other thing about this pool is that the confirmations are up to 100 only. I've seen pools that are up to 120, and I don't understand why they do it this way, but this one is up to 100, so you don't have to wait as long. So I decided to, okay, I've seen some other guy using Antpool, and Antpool is a very big pool, and you're paid by share. So, but the transaction fees are kept by the pool. They don't share these, and usually per block, it's a very small amount, which makes sense because your share is minimal if you're a small miner compared to other ones. And I've made in a day, or basically 0.14, which was less than Bitminter. I didn't like that. But the important thing about Antpool is that it's very consistent. They find between 30 to 50 blocks per day, but again, your share will or earnings per day are a lot less. So I didn't like that, and I decided to try Eligius. A lot of people, mine on Eligius, and it's 9.7 petahertz. It goes up and down between 8 and 11, which makes it a bigger pool than Bitmentor, and it's a zero fee pool as well. Bitmentor, you can donate if you want, but it can also be a zero fee pool. I believe they charge 1% on rewards. If you find a block, they take that reward. But again, Eligius, the biggest problem about Eligius is that I did not like how slow they are. They can find up to 3 blocks a day, usually 2, 3 if it's good, or 4. But again, the way they did the statistics, it was nice. But in a day, I did 0.27, which was a lot higher than Antpool and Bitminter. But it was a bit longer than a day. That's important to say. It took over a day to get paid. So as long as you're not getting paid, you're collecting more shares. You're putting in more shares to get paid. And the other thing is, blocks take longer. You need 120 confirmations to get paid, and that's another thing I didn't like. 120 confirmations is pretty a lot. And the way it works is with your wallet, so you can't do any configurations unless you're using the Bitcoin client, which again I don't like to use. I like using Coinbase. And over here on this one, the pay system is a little bit more complicated. You're paid by shares, but there's also shares that you don't. The way it works is, since you're paid by share up front, you have to wait for everybody that didn't get paid before you. So you may be putting shares towards a current block, but you're not going to get paid until 2 or 3 blocks later. They compensate you for the wait, but which in turn you get paid longer, but paid more, but you are actually waiting a lot longer to get paid. And I don't like waiting to get paid. I like getting paid on time. And this gives me the impression that Eligius is kind of running in the red, and they can't pay you out until they find more blocks, which I didn't like very much. So Antpool was fine. Bitmentor was okay, but too slow. So I decided to go to Slushes pool with Bitcoin .cz. So mining.bitcoin.cz. This is a medium pool. The pool size is 41 petahashes. And it's very important here that this to understand that this pool uses scoring system, not shares. So the way it works is that if we go here, your reward is based on your scoring hash rate. So basically your hashing rate divided by the pool hashing rate multiplied by block value times 0.98. 0.98, I'm not sure what that is, but I figure that's the amount you get to keep of the block value, while the pool keeps 0.02, so 2%. That's my understanding of it. So if we go to the dashboard here, my hashing rate with all my miners is 41.31 right now. And the pool is 41.19. So you take that value divided by that, multiplied by the block size, the block value, bitcoins plus transaction fees. Yes, this pool actually shares the transaction fees, which is very important to me, because if I'm to make money later on moving forward, I want a share of the transaction fees. Multiplied by the scored amount, we get to keep the 98%, which is fine. So basically here you get to see that estimated 0.22 bitcoins per day, and it tells you how much bitcoins you'll get per block estimation. So the red here is a nice graphical display. The red is what you're estimated to get in the next block once you find the block, and this is the CDF, so basically your luck factor. Blue is your unconfirmed. This is basically what you're going to get paid once these blocks over here are confirmed, and it tells you what's the percentage left to get confirmed. Green is what is already ready to be paid, so blocks that have been confirmed. So if we go here, we find that, okay, these are confirmed. These are blocks that are yet to be confirmed. We're waiting for more confirmation. So this would be displayed in blue. This is in green. Red will be estimated on the next block. So that's very nice. I like that. Another important note about this pool is that your hash rate is very important. You want to keep it in terms of numbers very close to the pool's hash rate. So you definitely need to keep increasing. The higher your hashing rate, the more you'll make, which is very, very important. The estimated daily reward is actually based on this value. It takes time. Since I just added 2 Antminer S7s, it'll take time to reach here to be figured after 5 minutes, an hour, and then within a day this value will be updated, and the accuracy of the BTC reward per day will be updated. So this is interesting. So far I like this pool. It's very simple, straightforward. You get a share of the transaction fees, and the longer you're with them, I've heard that they reward by how long you've been with them, but I haven't figured that out yet. But so far it's pretty straightforward. The statistics is very simple. You see, it also helps you monitor. I disconnected 2 S5s here, and it's it's notable. So you can set up your workers, your activity log in terms of log in and log out, your settings. I'm still trying to find really good apps to set up my to use my API token and remotely monitor this my miners' activities. But this is important to note. You see, transaction fees are added to the block size, and you can see them. Now, unlike other pools like Antpool, you don't get merge mining. Okay, Bitminter, you get merge mining, but you need to find a wallet for your name coins. Same thing with Eligius. You need to set up another wallet for NMC. So here, NMC, this is merge mining. So NMCs are actually converted to Bitcoins for you, and you get paid those Bitcoins. So this is a very big plus to me. I don't need to worry about sending my NMCs to an exchange rate and exchanging and doing all this stuff. It's done automatically here, and I'm paid for it. This seems to be the best pool to mine on so far that I've been on. I continue to do more research. I'll be looking into creating my own pool and understand how pools are operated. But so far, this pool is my favorite so far. I like it, and I would recommend going on this pool. But if you're new, BitMentor is actually pretty good to start on. It's very simple, straightforward, no issues. They're very nice. But you see, pools are, if you're running a pool, it's very important that you advertise your pool, you get it well known, and that's how you're gonna increase your hashing speed for the pool. A lot of pools don't seem to be doing that. It sucks being on a pool that doesn't really increase in size. Another tactic that I've seen for bigger miners is that, for example, this guy over here has way more miners than this. He's running 30 terahashes on this pool, but he has actually 1 petahertz capacity, and I've seen them jump up that high. The same goes for Bitfast. So some guys, they dedicate certain miners to certain pools, so they're collectively picking up rewards from different pools and don't have to worry about their pool finding blocks. So that's a pretty good strategy that I'll look into once I have a lot more miners in this. Another thing is Discuss Fish, one hell of a pool that I've been looking into, and if this would just load up, it actually pays you a direct amount of fees, BTC per terahash, which is pretty interesting if you want consistency but don't care about transaction fees because they don't pay transaction fees at all. So if we go here, I haven't tried them myself, but trying out Antpool, it's similar. So see, they just tell you this is how much you get paid per terahash per day, and that's it. They keep the reward for finding a block and the transaction fee, which doesn't sit very well with me. So so far, I honestly prefer Slush's pool since it's pretty good. So that's my review so far. If you have any questions, comments, please let me know. It's very important to discuss this, especially if you are into mining business than just mining to keep your bitcoins. And I've had a discussion via email with another person in Europe that was wondering what will happen when the block is actually halved to 12 BTC per block. I told them, well, whenever you have your supply decreases, the value will increase. So by July, when that happens, the value of Bitcoin is going to go up a lot. And hopefully by then, a lot more businesses and people are using Bitcoin because you will get more in transaction fees. So instead of just 12 Bitcoins per block, you'll get maybe 13, 15, depending on how many people are doing transactions. So that would be great. Until then, our Bitcoin value is still going up. This month it's $500 Canadian, which is pretty great. So